Thank you, Mr Bailey. I beg to move that this House has considered regulation of online sales of electrical products. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, Mr Bailey, and I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to have this short debate today. The Minister will know this is an issue of deep concern to me, especially given an incident in my constituency in March 2015, where my constituent Linda Merron died in a house fire after buying an electrical product on eBay. Since then, I've been campaigning to improve how the likes of eBay, Amazon, Alibaba and Facebook allow the sales of unsafe electrical goods directly to the public. I certainly will.
Thank you for giving way. And does anybody agree that the fact that with online marketplaces it's much harder to trace supply chain operators and transparency can be almost non-existent, and that consumers may often be under the impression that they are buying from the marketplace directly rather than a trader? And would you subsequently agree that we must do something to regulate this online industry through enhanced legislation?
I most certainly do agree with the Honourable Member from Strangford, but rarely that I do not. This is exactly the reason why I set up the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Home Electrical Safety, to help find solutions, particularly to the issue of this wild west of electrical goods sales, whether they are fake, unsafe, second-hand or recalled. And I would like to pay tribute to the organisation Electrical Safety First, who help with the administration of the APPG and bring together several important stakeholders. But they are tirelessly campaigning to prevent electrical fires in people's homes. You know, I certainly will.
I also want to pay tribute to the full extent of the work that she's done in this area, for which I'm sure we're all grateful. Will the Honourable Lady agree with me that it is shocking that 80% of fires in Scotland are caused by faulty electrical goods, and people who buy these goods are often not aware of the dangers that they bring into their home? And does she agree with me that what we really need is a public education programme as well as better regulation of online sales in particular?
I certainly do. Anything that we can do to help any fire be prevented is of the utmost importance. The Minister will be aware of the APPG's recently published report, which I sent to the Department, entitled The Problem with Online Sales of Electrical Products. This followed a consultation with Electrical Safety First, CTSI, ACG, the Local Government Association, London Fire Brigade and also others who attended the APPG. And Mr Bailey, I would like to inform the Minister, I also reached out to online platforms, Amazon and eBay, to request their input into this report. Only eBay responded, and I'm grateful to them for doing so, and they have attended an APPG session where they did give a presentation. I am very disappointed with the lack of engagement by the online sales platforms and their total disinterest in helping find solutions to these problems. And I will always remember the words of an Amazon executive who sat in my office and when challenged said, "We are just a landlord." So technically they wash their hands of all responsibility. As far as I'm concerned, Amazon are totally disengaged. But this also shows a complete disregard for consumer rights, safety and the work of the OPSS. And I do believe that the Minister needs to tackle these online platforms, just like she's tackled Whirlpool in the recent weeks. I certainly will.
Gerald Jones. I thank my Honourable for giving way and for the case that she's making it in her own inimitable style. Could I ask her if she would agree with me that more needs to be done, not only with the online platforms, as she's mentioned, but much more needs to be done with second-hand sales between individuals to create a much more safer environment for those sales, particularly of the electrical goods that she's outlined?
Yeah, it terrifies me when I see second-hand shops selling electrical goods and that we do not know the provenance of those items. But that brings me on to a really important point, and it's speaking about Whirlpool. The government says it takes the issues of consumer safety very seriously and recently took the unprecedented action on unsafe tumble dryers. Overnight, Whirlpool issued a list. I believe it was 21 pages long and 650 or thereabouts 650 recalled models. I wondered if the Minister and her department has looked at this list, because this morning I have seen numerous of these machines on Amazon, on Facebook, on eBay. This is just one example. And this is TCF S83 BGB, which is, anybody want to go into the phone will find numerous models on sale today, even after the recall. So the Minister needs to take immediate action today to stop these sites from selling recalled models. So will she commit to an immediate review of this list and to stop these online platforms selling these machines? And will she also commit to enforcement action against any company allowing the placement of unsafe products on the market? As Electrical Safety First have highlighted in their briefing to MPs for this debate, many of these sites are selling recalled electrical goods and substandard electrical goods. And as I said earlier, despite eBay's willingness to engage, there are many other significant problems on that site. In recent weeks, Electrical Safety First have informed me that they are to intervene in a case involving an eBay listing selling non-UK CCTV equipment. The product did not comply with the Low Voltage Directive for CE marking or the Plugs and Sockets Safety Regulations 1994. The plug did not comply with BS 1363 as acquired by the Plugs and Sockets Regulations 1994, making it illegal, and there were no manufacturer markings. And it was only as a result of the charity's work that the consumer was able to get her money back, as neither eBay, Trading Standards or Citizens Advice were able or willing to help the purchaser. The listings are still available and the seller is still selling non-compliant products. And I am of course happy to pass the details provided to me by Electrical Safety First to the Minister. But the issue I go back to every time is, why do the online sales platforms not have basic checks and algorithms in place, meaning they would proactively be complying with the law? Why can't their algorithms prevent recalled and non-compliant electrical goods from being uploaded? Therefore, to prevent cases like this, the APPG report recommends 5 specific areas of action. Number 1, online marketplace and enabling the sale of counterfeit and substandard electrical goods with little effective oversight or transparency. The APPG and I believe that legislation should be introduced to ensure online marketplaces take responsibility for what is being sold on their sites. Their sellers must be clearly identifiable and accountable. And also, there should be legal responsibility on online marketplaces to remove counterfeit and unsafe products as soon as possible and to cooperate fully with enforcement agencies. Number 2, enforcement agencies. On the whole, they have sufficient powers, but they need the resources to properly enforce them. The government should ensure that all enforcement is adequately funded and reverse funding cuts where necessary, especially post-Brexit. Number 3, there needs to be an improved cooperation and information sharing between different tiers of enforcement and with online marketplace. Jurisdictional limits and the reach that different tiers of enforcement bodies have is insufficiently clear and a barrier to effective enforcement. Whilst these large organisations have primary authorities, such as eBay working with Westminster, the OPSS should be given the task of coordinating and improving interaction between enforcement agencies and online marketplaces. Number 4, online marketplaces benefit from the UK's product safety regime and so should contribute towards its operation, similar to other industries. The UK government should consider how online marketplaces could help contribute to enforcement and should lead conversations with major marketplaces on this issue. And 5, consumer education must be improved and is key to reducing the risk from counterfeit and substandard electrical products. So the UK government should work with stakeholders to ensure greater consumer awareness through national advertising campaigns. As part of the OPSS strategy, there is a work stream with regards to combating unsafe counterfeit electrical goods and second-hand electrical sales. I am aware that OPSS is working with on a funded project with Electrical Safety First on the latter. But I would be grateful if the Minister will inform the House of the following, and if she's able to today, to write to MPs to provide us an update on the following. Can the Minister tell us where we are in the OPSS strategy to implement and prevent the sales of unsafe electrical goods online, particularly in relation to the Whirlpool example I have just raised? When did the Minister last meet with the online sales platforms to discuss self-regulation? For example, why have the platforms not got systems in place to not allow people to upload listings of Whirlpool recalled tumble dryers, items with plugs that are not compatible with BS 1363, items that originate from abroad, etc., etc. But what action is OPSS taking with the online platforms to immediately stop the sale of Whirlpool recalled tumble dryers on these sites? Had the Minister actually thought about that scenario? Will she take enforcement action against these companies that allow the sale of recalled items, especially Whirlpool tumble dryers? When will the government commit additional resources to such areas as Thurrock Council, who are on the front line in protecting the public from unsafe electrical goods being brought into the country and then sold via eBay, Facebook and Amazon? Will the Minister commit to new regulations on the online platforms to prevent them from selling non-compliant, unsafe and recalled products from being sold online? And will the Minister commit to attend the APPG to discuss the recommendations of the report in greater detail and how we can go forward in resolving these problems, especially the persistent illegal activity of the online sales platforms selling unsafe, non-compliant and recalled electrical goods? The measures in the APPG report are a combination of a wide number of stakeholders as published in the report, and I hope the Minister and our officials will now work with the group to bring solutions forward to ensure greater protection for consumers and to ensure those online marketplaces act legally and, after today's discovery, responsible.